come up without a lot of drama. Let's see if we can put that in there. Yeah. Best for YouTube business. All right, let's put this. Let's get people smile on a Sunday night. Kaboom. Let's put that in there. Save that. All right. That is a joke, by the way. What's best for YouTube business, right? All right. And yes, it would appear. Let me go to the YouTube side now and see if I'm getting out of here. Let me turn that down. And there we go. Hello, Uber. Nice to see you. Good evening to you. Let me put that down over there. Peachy Pie. How are you, honey? Nice to see you tonight. I'm laughing at Missy Jen. Hello, Kimberly. We got so many people on YouTube who really specialize in minding other people's business. It always cracks me up here. People that profess that they don't watch you are still out there commenting. Hello, Mr. Carlos, YouTube Carrillo, Mrs. Wombat. Hello, Maggie. I hope everybody's doing good. Sunday evening, a nice 2 day break of calmness here. And our vaunted president of the United States has said we need to social distance for the month of April. And I'll tell you, who in the hell cheered that? The police departments out there around the nation, huh? Our police guys are sitting on their hands here, right? There's no bar fights. There's no punks on the street to to arrest. No gang activity. Misunderstood. How are you? Hello, GR. Mostly wasted. Good evening to you. I find that pretty amazing, right? I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Hey, JP. Yeah, Missy, we were laughing today. Somebody was criticizing people that are out and about and that have loved ones that have compromised health. And I'm thinking to myself, Missy Jen has been practicing social distancing from me for a long time. You ever notice that she keeps a 12-foot barrier between us here at the rancho? That's why you haven't seen her side by side with me on videos. Honest to goodness, we have been widely separated here physically on the rancho. So, hello, Charla. Nice to see you. Uh, I always have to laugh. I always have to laugh though that you give people a small glimpse into your life and they think that they know the rest of the 23 hours a day or whatever. So it's all pretty funny. Yeah, so social distancing, going out, plenty of people, as the president mentioned today, it's important to get exercise. It's important to get out for to walks, get some fresh air. Just maintain social distancing. These viruses aren't spooks with wings that are flying through the air, right? You have to make contact or have somebody cough or sneeze in your vicinity. When is your next visit to UC Berkeley? I don't know. Hello, Verily. I hadn't really considered Berkeley. There's so many things going on. How you doing, Cheryl? There's so many things going on now that it's hard to prioritize what I want to do. Okay, I don't want to put myself in a super urban type of situation. Even though walking on the streets is fine, the critical thing is not touching anything. And I didn't, as you guys know, time after time, I haven't gotten any carry out food at all. I've continued to take and make all of our meals at home here. So we've been incredibly low risk. We've been to the supermarket one time. We went grocery shopping for the week with gloves and masks and everything like that. I really had a good weekend. Yeah, I can't say I'm going crazy. Yeah. Let's see. The stuff has hit the fan in my neck of the woods, says Ivan. Highways blocked by a coronavirus by being kicked by men in biohazard suits with guns. Be careful. Hey Linda, how you doing? Well, around here things have been calm. Governor Gavin Newsom has was one of the second governors to order the sheltering thing to reduce your travel and to only essential things, which did not restrict walking around or things like that. So California's done remarkably well. Will it over the next month? I don't know. It's going to be hard to keep the population down here. Hello, Jewel. Hello, Buff. Nice to see you. It remains to be seen. It's a big task, but it was nice. I don't know if they. Let me adjust my volume up a little bit here. Let me see if I can do something for that. Let me put this up for a second. Let me see if I can run this down here. Let's see, I don't even think I can get to the. Yeah, I can probably get to the volume thing here. All right, I'm going to put this thing up full bore. Okay, I've got that volume up like full bore on there. I hope that's okay. Oh, you're voting for Hillary. Hey, Fish. Hey, Cold. Hey, Cher. I've been to near Bolinas, but I didn't go into Bolinas. I went as far down as Stinson Beach. I didn't cross over to the east to Bolinas. Hello, Tammy. Nice to see you this evening. I did so enjoy Tammy wrestling with that brisket and grinding that up. That was a great video. You know, when she was done manhandling that brisket, she's like, "Ooh, uh, I can't wait till I can get some packaged ground beef again." I hope this audio is better here. Hello, Pete. So it's been a great weekend. You know, it's been a great weekend. We've been away from crashing markets. There are still tremendous problems in the financial markets, but they're more of a technical problem. Mortgage-backed securities and there's a lot of it's like dominoes falling over just because just because the Federal Reserve jumps in and puts a couple of $100 billion in doesn't solve every problem in the way. I've been enjoying it, Chooch. Thank you. Be kind. That was very nice of you. You made a comment. I really appreciate that. How you doing, JJ and Joey? Hello, Lindsay. So it's been calm. You know, to be away from that for a couple days. Now the rain has. Wouldn't you know it? The weekend's over. And at about 5 o'clock today, the sun finally came through. We've had off and on rain for all of the weekend and chilly, but it's supposed to be sunny and in the 70s this week. And I'm really, guys, I'm going to be eating up that sunshine out there when that comes. I have been exercising a great deal, trying to make sure I take 2 very long walks every day. I think that's done a lot to keep me feeling pretty happy and pretty mentally healthy here. Let's see what else is going on. So I did not put the lights up today. I did record a video on why I think my little panel van is a perfect vehicle if you are forced for some reason to lose or have to move out, which I don't think should happen to anybody in the nation over the next few months. I don't think anybody should technically be evicted. But if you had to plan to eventually transition to a vehicle to show people how I built out my van and how comfortable and great it served me over months of travel and things. Hey, Dano, happy birthday, Mr. Carlos. Hello, Sergeant Blackrock. So yeah, an excellent day today. People have been enjoying that video. I'm very happy to see that, and I'm putting more of, if you're interested in more of the financial things, they tend to be over on the Rosie Murphy channel. I talked about the possibility of rationing coming back again, which is a possibility, given the state of things in the world. I'm really keeping an eye. Hey, Monkey Boy, thank you, Tammy. I appreciate that. I was going to stir crazy, drove out to a small town and walked it. That's cool, Chef. Good for you. Chat blessings. Hello, black-hearted. Positive thoughts to everybody. I'm really keeping an eye on Italy. They're kind of my um, country that I'm really keeping an eye on because I think they're trying to do a really good job of um, clamping down. They were late to the party. They laughed it off. And a month ago, they were like, "Ooh, this thing is nothing. Just go about your life. Keep doing what you're doing." A week later, they canceled the Milan fashion show, which is like one of the premier fashion shows that introduces fashions for the year. And I knew when they canceled that, man, that's some really serious stuff coming down. And now, for 2 days in a row, they've reported kind of declining death rates, which I'm really happy to see. Now we've had declines before, and then like a big surge again. So I don't know. People have come back to China, and they're starting to reinfect people. Hong Kong's turning into a basket case again down there. So let's see. It's a sad day in Baltimore, 1984, the dead of nights, the Colts pack. Yeah. I guess what was today the anniversary? Yeah. Hey, how you doing, Chess? I remember that day when the Mayflower moving vans pulled up and the Baltimore Colts. We could not believe it. One of the storied teams of the NFL, one of the bedrock teams that had put the NFL on the map with Johnny Unitas and playing the New York Giants in the '58 championship. Considered the greatest game ever played, and on the last play, the handoff to Allen the Horse Amici, taking it over the goal line, and the Colts win in sudden death for the first overtime victory. And the first time the television audience exploded with people watching the NFL, right? Well, that was a sad day in 1984. A really lousy owner, Robert Irsay, snuck the team out in the dark of night, loaded it onto a Mayflower van, and took off for Indianapolis, and it broke the city's heart. We're damn glad. They were glad, like, darn lucky they got a team back again with the Ravens, who is looking sharp and has won 2 championships in their own right since then. So, Joe Diffie, there were a couple sports figures that died, major ones. Heber, the former quarterback for the New Orleans Saints, his father died. There's quite a few sports figures that have gone down here. So, hello, Tammy. Nice to see you. Hello, Amy. Small town choo-choo. So I was inspired. Good for you, Chef. Get out there and exercise. Just don't touch anything. I was so careful. I even took my own credit card. I wasn't going to stand in line. I went into Rite Aid. I got myself a packaged candy bar. Nobody touched it in there. And I just put my own card in a self-checkout. Ching, I don't need a bag. I don't have to handle money. Just on my way. That was great. A lot of people have lost their lives. The 9 subscribers. You just told us, Mr. Carlos. Hello, Sharon. How are you? Yeah, the Ravens, much respect. They're going to be, you'll see Lamar Jackson. He matured a lot. Let's just say that. You got to be positive. You've got to be positive. What's the alternative here? The days are so dark. There's people out there. I'm listening to people talk about it's the end of the days. It's the apocalypse. They said the same thing in 1929. There were people jumping out of windows. The old joke goes, the guy come along the street, he saw 2 people that were locked in holding hands that had jumped out the window. I said, why in the hell did they jump together? Well, they had a joint account. We're still with you. So hey, Julie, how you doing? Hope your daughter's doing well. We've had a few people. He was a country singer. Okay, Sergeant Blackrock. We've had a few people in the community been touched by coronavirus. But I have been extraordinarily careful. But I think it's funny, the busybodies in the community that will look at other people when they themselves are traipsing out to markets and things and doing unsafe things. It's just amazing that people just can't seem to mind their own business. Bad hemorrhoid sufferer. How you doing? Skunk Ape, I never got a Gmail from Skunk Ape to unblock him. I'm not going to go searching channels. If you were blocked in here, I'm assuming it was for a reason by one of my moderators. I might block one person personally a week. I'm not shading my moderators, but I'm just saying I don't second guess them either. I don't go to Cheryl and say, "Whoa, why did you block this person?" or "Why did you scold this person for using so many emojis?" or whatever. You know, they run it the way they want over there. Shake them around a little bit. That's it. Shake them around a little bit. So um, I have to laugh. There's, oh, you know, Missy Jen's been practicing social distancing from me for for, for a long, long time. So far, so good. I have not heard from Dee. The mystery continues. Although I've had reports, it's almost becoming like Howard Hughes now. Sightings of Howard Hughes or Elvis. You know, oh, I think Dee commented on a video the other day or something like that. Look, I'm assuming Dee's taking a break from YouTube. He might be out on a bender. He might be working, but obviously the message to me is I'm chilling out gone fishing. That's the sign that I'm getting there. So hey, Kit and Cat. Yeah, how you doing, Gil? Nice to see you. Gil made a funny comment today. I can't remember what the heck it was. Funny or scary? I can't remember what it was out there. Yeah, mind your own business. That way you will not be minding mine. Exactly. So many people profess they're not going to watch it. They're still sticking their nose in the business. It's unbelievable. You know, and obviously whatever I'm doing is best for YouTube business right now. Although you have some of the jealous people that'll tell you buying views. How in the hell do you buy views during a live stream? You know, I'll always be, I'll always have to laugh about that kind of stuff. It just shows you the petty extent that the small minds that are out there on YouTube and the incredible amount of jealousy and internal pain that is just bundled up inside, and hatred that's bundled up inside these people. Let's see. You took Elbow's video. I was sleeping last night. I got back. I was exhausted after 4 hours, and at 10 o'clock, boom, I was down. You think I'm sitting up all hours of the night to wait on inane, useless, meaningless, boring video from the man in the can? Are you kidding me? You know, he still hasn't gotten a clue yet. He's not what's good for YouTube business. And last night was a slap in the face. It was a warning, probably a warning. I got bigger fish to fry. I told you guys before. You know, let him continue to make the boring content of reviewing a coffee can that nobody cares about, okay? He's finally getting the message that he's in the deep end of the sewage pool and there's nothing to do to help him out. Okay, so let us allow him to go on his way, wish him the best, happy trails, and move on. But he has discovered that Rosie O'Kelly is what's best for business, so he can't seem to stop talking about me. So that's the basic fact on that. Short of talking about me, can't talk about D because D-Dubs hasn't been around. Nobody cares about the content. There's no originality. Sitting in the same park, in front of the same trees. Who cares? It is time to roll ahead to new vistas. Yeah. I mean, I don't care. It doesn't matter. Yeah, so I say Monkey Boy. I got new friends. I got Monkey Boys. I got Mr. Z out there. I got my all friends. Every time I go to Vegas, I expand my number of friends down there. And there's so many more positive people. And I've left so many of these negative, Boyd people behind it. All they do, you'll never see a positive comment from them. It's always negative, negative. Life is terrible. I've got this burden on me. I've got this problem. I've got this health situation. One arm is dangling on the left side, my toes falling off. Who in the hell wants to watch that on YouTube? Okay? So darn right I'm going to stay positive. I'm going to stay upbeat. I'm going to keep doing the things that I want to do. I know, Sharon B. You and Kooky. Woo! How you doing, Perfect? You know, and just let him fade into the sunset, continue to be the disease spreading vector that he is in the community until he's finally shut down by National Guard, which will eventually intercept and move him into a FEMA location. And then there'll be some retraining program involving a pick and a shovel in a highway, something like that, or moving a pile, digging a hole, filling in the hole again, digging the hole out, filling it in, just like Marine Corps style. Okay, something like that. All right, chat feels nice. Yeah, we're doing a light chat tonight. This is a positive chat. That's all I do is positive chats, Janet. It was a great weekend here. Great weekend. Good choo-choos. Chooch on Thursday night. Chooch on Saturday night. Good times. Love being out there. Love bringing the experience. I don't like the times that we're living in, but when life gives you lemons, you got to make lemonade. What is the alternatives? To sit and mope? To sit in the dark with all the lights out? Shivering and cowering like a fool? I don't think so. We are absolutely doing our best. Thank you, Monkey Boy. I like to keep things amusing. But obviously, I'm going to continue down the track I've been doing. 2020 has been good years. 2019 was a pretty good year. Going in my own direction and doing solo and not being involved in those chats has really benefited me a lot. I can't tell you how many times I would sit there and run a 6 or 8 hour chat and have it turn into Jerry Springer show, and it wasn't fun. But this has been great fun. This has been really, really good, and I've got both of the channels are banging along. And when I want to have a little bit of a more adult fun, I have the Rosie McNamara channel, and we have fun over there. Thank you, Sergeant Blackrock. I appreciate that. I mean, I just feel like I got the perfect setup now. I've got the perfect moderators. I've got the perfect methodology for mixing, doing things, and making things, and taking people places. I think it's a really good mix. But the main thing, we definitely have to protect our health. I don't know how things are going to play out. 30 days is a long additional time here, and it's springtime. Okay, it's a time where if you're blessed enough to have the good weather of April and you're sort of restricted and the things that you can do, the tulips come into bloom. At the end of April is beautiful. The beginning, not so hot. But we have to mentally prepare ourselves for the fact that we're going to have a horrendous number of deaths in this nation in the month of April. And that's just a fact of a large population and insidious virus here. We just have to, hey Missy, we just have to understand that it's a circle of life and it's cruel. And I still think we're going to miss some people from our own community. Hello, Jan. I went out for the first time. Picked up my meds at drive-through and brought some takeout. It was wonderful. Yeah, it's nice to get out, isn't it? Isn't it? Thank you, Justin. And remember, my top priority is Missy Jen. She's lining up again for her infusion. Okay? And that's going to be a go. In the midst of all of this stuff, we're going to be venturing right into the medical facilities again. Her risk will be much higher down there than anything she will ever experience around here. But I will drop her off, send her on her way. I am not allowed to accompany her for the first time in 5 years. I won't be there for her treatment or infusion, 4 years of infusion. April 1st will be Missy Jen's 6th anniversary here on the Rancho. And for those of you who said, whoa, Missy Jan will be gone in back to Germany in January. There she is. Either that or it's a pretty good lifelike wax dummy. Over there. Hello, mouse toes. Cigarettes are now banned in New York City. Has the word overpopulation? Well, Kit and Kat, I know you're a subscriber and an adherent to the Charles Dickens uh, philosophy as espoused in A Christmas Carol when Jacob Marley, I guess, used to school a younger Ebenezer Scrooge on the need to not be compassionate to people in life because, well, doing so does nothing to help reduce the surplus population. Well, I guess that's the difference of what separates humans from animals is that we do care about that. Everybody matters. We're like the Marine Corps. We don't like to leave anybody behind. I find it hard. Thank you, Dano. I find it hard to believe that that they have stopped selling cigarettes in New York City. How are they going? They're going to miss that tax revenue, $20 a pack or whatever on that. I'm this close to. Yeah, I knew you'd say that, Kitten Cat. I'm this close to starting smoking again. I figured when that crisis is over, I can always put it down. I'm not sure what I'm going to be baking next. The damn bagels look great, but they were tough. They were too tough. I'm not going to make bagel. I'm not sure what I'm going to. I'll probably make scones next. I like scones. I'll probably see if I can get some dry. I'll probably get some raisins or something and make some raisins. Yeah, I'm working hard to keep it clean, gradually move forward. I was starting to reduce some inventory, but there's no sense selling anything now into the marketplace in terms of fine vintage audio gear. The appetite for purchasing anything has shrunk dramatically. Oh, fake news. Okay, caring does not mean you cannot affect positive. Oh, of course not. Of course. Of course. It's the Federal Reserve that really brought us to this situation, Kit and Kat, in a misguided policy of we can all be winners. It never allowed the natural cleansing forces of the market to clear off the dead and the decaying rot of our economy. Much like the state of California, the tree huggers prohibited cleaning and felling of trees to try to reduce the impact of forest fires and wildfires. Every time we had a downturn, they'd be under there with the cushion to put under the butt of the economy. And therefore, we never had to be creative. We never had to expand our horizons of thinking and have our backs up against the wall. The greatest creative period in this nation was in the 1930s. But there's no need to advance an economy when you don't have to worry about ever losing your job or losing income. So as a society as a whole, yeah, it's great in the short run, but we all suffer in the long run. I love tuning in daily for the Trump show. Do you do any repair or fix it? I do. I have tons of repair and fix it. Hillbilly repair shop, vacuum cleaners, all kinds of devices. Tons of fix it videos. Just look at my playlist on this and in the Rosie Murphy channel. You'll see all kinds of kitchen table repair doctor videos, tons of things. I can't wait for the opening bell. What are you expecting to happen tomorrow? Let me get my pen. When Kit and Kat talks, people listen. Remember the old E.F. Hutton? Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Finner, Smith. Right. What was the old one? What was Lehman, Loeb, Kuhn, Harriman, whatever. They used to have these 6,000 long. Speaking of, how could I go about sending you something to repair? Please don't send me anything to repair. I've already got enough projects in the shop to keep me busy, and that are backed up on there. Why are we bailing out airlines? I've been raking out the money. And I'm Republican, like everything about you. Keep up the intelligent bad. Thank you, David Moore. And make sure you're checking out the Rosie Murphy channel if you like the economic pattern. Today I did a video on the possibility of rationing. Returning if, we have to be prepared in case the food chain is further disrupted up the line. We've already had this massive shock wave moving up to the commodity level. We'll just have to see how the rest of the world reacts. And, as I said in that video, one farmer feeds 173 people now compared to 4 people in 1929. So it's a much more leveraged enterprise, and we better hope our farm community stays healthy and stays strong, and then we get decent weather. Okay. Boeing and Ford. Yeah. Boeing, yes. Ford, I don't know. Ford looks like the next major restructuring candidate to me, to be honest. They didn't take the bailout money last time. There are no tree huggers interested in Mississippi. I like the state of Mississippi. I like Jackson, Mississippi. Pascagoula. I think it's a very diverse and it's an interesting state. Natchez, some beautiful historical places up there. Thank you very much, Sergeant Blackrock. I would only send if you said you had to tell. Yeah, that's okay, dudes. I've reached a point in my life. I've been doing that for a lot of years. When I'm unable to travel anymore, then I will transition over to more and more repair videos. I'm waiting for the weather to clear a little bit. I feel like I can metal detect alone out there on the streets. The parks are closed, but I can metal detect the tree wells out between the sidewalks and the streets and things to get exercise. Hey, Kiki! Today I went out for groceries at 6. It was so nice to walk stock dolls. There you go, Angus. That's it. I have a cousin married a racist witch of a woman. Well, I guess it happens. Thank you, Mouse Toe. So there's the Murphy channel if you're not subscribed. That's where I go into more. If I put something up on this channel, it's because I feel like it's very important. If I put it over there, I feel like it's just philosophy and sort of, theorizing over there. Fish there like poison. Yeah, so it's good that the stores were stocked up. Ours are still suffering major outages. It just depends which community that you are in coming up. And we've had a lot of calmness. I don't know. Now we're looking at an extension of 30 days on shelter in place. I'm not quite sure what that's going to mean. I think people got probably all the toilet paper they need, but as for other supplies, I just don't know. Oh, we all love you. Woo! What is your biggest find for metal detecting? It's a 22-inch, 22-carat gold chain with a crucifix on the end of it. Okay, I dug it out of a bus stop. Okay, it's close to, got to be close to 3/4 of an ounce of gold. So do the math. Maybe worth $1,000. So that's the greatest thing that I have found. I do have a video talking about my greatest finds on YouTube. It's a couple years old. I'm just following the media for pump and dumps during the fire sale, picking up in Nebraska and Iowa. That's what I'm saying, Dana. We got to be careful in the midsection of this nation. People get complacent. They feel like, oh, it's all good. I went into Salina for breakfast this morning. Everything was all good. I rode through Russell, Kansas. Yeah, they were all out there shopping and doing their thing. And the next thing you know, boom. So, I guess we'll find that the weakness of this whole strategy is that you would almost have to do it on a national level for 2 to 3 weeks, right, nationwide, to get full compliance. The pharmacy will get thermometers like the old shake them down. Yeah. Let's see. Mississippi State has the best golf program and also the best graphics design. Yeah, there's a lot to recommend. Mississippi's not this poor ass old Confederate hanger-on state. There's a lot of good things that are happening in Mississippi and Alabama these days. Hey, Red Solo Cub, nice to see you. Uh, I have found that my most worthwhile metal detecting finds tend to be above 6 inches and above, believe it or not. Okay, I'll find stuff that's 100 years old, 4 inches down. Okay, sometimes an inch and a half down. It's amazing. So I hope everybody's weekend has gone good. I'm looking forward to that. Like I said, I'm not going to comment on the events of last night. I was asleep last night when evidently Not Best for Business went live and shot off his mouth without the realization that this is a different time and a different era here on YouTube. And they will just shut you down in a heartbeat on here. My best advice is, as I tell everybody, do your own content. Talk about your own boring world. Okay? Don't talk about other people in a desperate gambit to fight against you're like the guy in the barrel that has been floating down the Niagara River, and so far everything's all good, waving to the people on shore. And now you're hearing, what is that? Sounds like I wonder if they're having a drag races up ahead. It sounds like roaring of engines. Yeah, the quarantine earthquake. So that's the deal on that. Trying to troubleshoot a hot water heater on a J Traveler. I already pulled my hair out. Just make sure that you have electric for spark, and make sure that you're getting the gas flow in. Sometimes those heaters have very small little pinpoint vents, and unless it can allow some venting out, it can't put the propane in. Sometimes they get blocked up. You got to take a safety pin and open up those little vent tubes. I have no news on D. So I had to come to the conclusion, I'm not a relative of D's. I'm a friend of D's, a good friend of D's. D sent out mixed messages last time we were together. And the message I kind of got, D's all about the ladies and things like that and living life, and he's younger, right? So the last message I got was he was debating whether to take some time off from YouTube or not. So maybe he chose to do that, to go low key. It's kind of like I was watching David Guns, and David Guns disappeared for a while. And then he came back, and everybody, we were about to send out a search party. He's like, well, can't anybody go on vacation without people sending out a search party? I liked your ProMaster band, Bill. Thank you, Twink. Hey, sweet. You've inspired me. What's the best metal detector kit? Any solid? I have a White's XLT that I've loved. It's an old line. It's probably 15 years old, and it's faultless. It just does a beautiful job for me. Don't spend money on really fancy stuff. Just dig every signal. Okay, some people are really lazy. They'll get a reading that shows it might be an aluminum pull tab or something, and they won't dig it. In fact, gold is very close to aluminum to electrical sensing, okay? And they might have left a gold ring behind right there, so check that out. I have to admit, my son replacing a water heater scared me when he was young. Oh yeah, had to go low key with a giant YouTube tattoo. Kitten Cat, people notice when you're not around. Kitten Cat, really? Kit and Kat, come on. People notice when you're around. Your rapier like wit, right? Your scathing humor. Yeah, always stay safe. You're still, I'll let you know if it works. Yeah, you have to. First thing to do is make sure that your sparker's working on that. Okay, on Elbow's van, the on the hot water heater, he broke off one of the flow tubes on it. So that's that. When he was in New Orleans when the virus broke out, but I was with him 10 days after New Orleans, and he had a cold, and he had fully recovered by the time we parted ways in Las Vegas. He was well, and then he went down to Arizona. He did 3 nights of sunset videos, and certainly, surely by then he would have been symptomatic. And plus, I was sitting next to him while he was sneezing and slobbering and doing everything else. So, know how to test for meth in your wallet. It's just, man, I'm not feeling good. I'm wondering what it is. Well, I don't know, sweet. I don't know how you test for meth except do a wall scraping and take it to a drug laboratory for analysis. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But don't worry, Kit and Kat. You'll always be welcome here. You and Mr. X, what a balance. I haven't seen Mr. X too much lately. I hope he's doing okay. I hope he's sheltering in place. They're in Chicago. Then disappeared. I don't know. Janet, am I concerned about D? Yes. Am I alarmed about D? No. The only thing that alarms me about D is his tendency to be a little scatterbrained. Now, I lost my keys in Cheyenne, Wyoming, because I chose to wear a short jean skirt with a very shallow pocket that I kept my keys in. I never usually wear that, and I would not again. I put a lanyard around my neck, but Missy Jen always has a backup key to. It's one day away from me. D, 3, 4 times a week it seemed, would lock his keys into the van, or misplace his cell phone, or this or that. So I don't know. Thank you, Chad Mack. Nice to see you. Johns Hopkins says 30 million people recovered. Hey, Jen, how are you? Oh, the meth in the walls. Okay. We just don't know. I mean, they're theorizing in China now. They're sort of on the deeper into the post-game show there, and they're looking at this virus, and they're wondering if, in fact, this has been existing for years out there and only just now surfacing within there's all kinds of viruses are strange things. Missy Jen is right there. Jen, give a wave.
Oh, I'm in the middle of getting ready for
There she is. We're social distancing.
Yeah.
This social distancing, Missy Jen will tell you, this has been the greatest thing in her life.
Yeah.
From day one, social distancing, Missy Jen has been like, whoo, my ship has finally come in. Woo, get away, don't come near me. And as a matter of fact, keep it a 12-foot, move all your stuff into the other room. And yeah, just get out of my face on here. So, trying to slowly opening back up. Well, opening back up and succeeding are two different things, because China's had its balls cut off because its markets have collapsed for its export products, and it hasn't groomed its domestic market enough to take up the slack yet. And there's there's another one. It's almost like It's a Wonderful Life. Every time a bell rings, another angel gets its wings. That's right, Zuzu. That's right. Well, every time that the clock ticks, another Chinese firm explodes from bad debt. Okay, out there. Hey, Spike Love, first live stream I've caught. Welcome aboard. There's North Shore. Hello. Yeah, Missy Jen orchestrated the COVID just for her. I've kept Jen. This is for the busybodies that choose to stick their noses in other people's business. I've been socially distancing from Jen since this whole thing came down. I don't want her sitting next to me doing a hangout. I don't want her in the kitchen when I'm in there. I don't want her using my dishes and things. I have sanitizer everywhere and Clorox cloths everywhere around the place, okay? I take extraordinary measures for her safety. That's why she hasn't been on cam with me. Plus, she does her own. She has her own. She's moving more into the makeup realm. So she's happy. Hello, Mark. Nice to see you. I need to ask North Shore Towing, how are you feeling today? North Shore Towing is one of the people that was unfortunately infected with the COVID-19. It was a little touch and go there for a while, so I'm curious. It was certainly in my thoughts and prayers because he's such a institution in this chat and so well liked in this community. So I'm just hoping that he's feeling better. Thinking of sending Rosie to the Shine Shack. Okay, that would be the next thing. No, I've not heard from D. I've not heard from D Dubs. So, am I concerned? Yes. I'm concerned because on a friend level, I don't think he would ignore my text unless he wants to be really underground right now. But am I alarmed? No, because he's a big guy and he's very strong and he's very capable of any physical altercation or anything that comes down. He's certainly capable of taking care of himself in spades. I'm a moonshiner. I have 13-gallon reflux. Good for you, Spike. I got that 25-gallon job, and we got all the white dog we need here for making sanitizer and things. I think they cleaned the carpets before I moved in. Who knows these days, sweet? Who knows? We had to our Great Dane euthanize, and we can't. Oh man, that's terrible, Cynthia. When when I had Wolfie put down, my dog of many years, I couldn't even be in the room. I was so, that was June, I think of 2014, and I was in such a bad way that Missy Jen had to do it. I couldn't even be in the room. Scared D has a virus, just a hunch. Well, he was getting over it at the end. Now he may be in a hospital somewhere. Okay. All right. I'm not sure. I don't know his travel plans. All right. So I'm sure his family, whom he talked to on a regular basis, as his kids and his folks, would be a bit more in the know and a little more in the stream of where his whereabouts are. David Moore, you're correct. Herd mentality, herd immunity is the only answer. It's true. It's true. That means 6 to 9 million people gotta go. But what can we do as a people? We do this little bits and pieces, and I'm still seeing groups of people. I went down the street today. They had a birthday party under the over top of the parking area. They pulled the cars out and they had picnic tables set up with balloons, and they had a huge party there for, I don't know, it looked like a 14-year-old girl's coming out party or something like that there. And it was just jammed with people. I don't think culturally some things resonate with the Mexican community here. But I notice when it's other people in the community, Asian or Caucasian people, they're always inevitably either I'll step out into the road to let them pass on the sidewalk, or they'll step out on the road to let me pass by. The worst heartbreak is putting an animal down. That's terrible. Carpet cleaner have been known to affect people like Sar. It looked like he had the flu on the Vegas. Yeah, but he was over that. And I I was next to him at the height of his sneezing and coughing, and with him at the height of what would have been his shedding. They call it the shedding time before you have the obvious symptoms. And the last time I saw him that morning when I said goodbye, he was fit as a fiddle, and the night before he was in good shape. Now I'm either very resistant to infection, which would not be something new with me, or maybe he took a turn for the worse. But remember, when he left Vegas, he had 3 nights of being down on BLM land and showing the sunset and having a dirty delete hangouts and things like that. No evidence of any illness whatsoever. Yeah, I got to give blood, but I got to give it at a time when it's not all crowded. 60 backpack tours had a party. The cops split it up. Country people don't seem to get it either. Well, sparsity of population, I think, builds an idea in people's head that there's some type of immunity there. But we're a very mobile society. People come through town, they gas up at your gas station, they handle the pump, they go inside, they handle money, and the next thing you know, it's all over town. The post office brings it into town. It's the reality. Nice to see you, Sugarcane. I did not hear from him. I have called and texted on a daily basis. I do not have the information to reach his folks, nor do I have the information to reach my friend Lamont Black Bigot. I don't have his number, so so just texted and asked him, "What do you think I've been doing, Madowix? I've not been sitting with my thumb up my bum. I've been texting him." Okay, but there's a limit to what I can do and am able to do. Okay. Having a hard time. Grocery stores delivered is backed up here. Okay, they're not even doing it around. Okay. Yeah, it'll hit the whole country. What is BLM? That's Bureau of Land Management. That's the public and lands that are owned by the people of the United States. Something like 80% of Nevada is BLM land. It's just public land. It's never been deeded over or squatted or whatever to become private land. So BLM. Yeah, we kind of know the virus. Now, there are a couple things. It's getting hot. Now, I'm going to be interested in watching Miami. Now, why would I be interested in Miami in the south, down around Mouse Toes area? Because it's been warm down there. And down in some parts of Texas, it was in the 90s and 80s. Now, according to the theory of viruses, when you have heat and humidity, the virus has a much more difficult time traveling through the air. Okay, and its lifespan becomes much more difficult to spread. So, I'll be keeping an eye on Miami and Atlanta and Savannah and Charleston and places along the coast. See what happens. No problem, Madowix. Let's empty scumbag banks. I'm not quite sure what that means. That sounds really bad. Let's empty scumbag banks. Black Bigot seems okay. Complaining back a lack of shout. Yeah, it's all he's. I understand that. Last I know, Lamont talked to him a week ago. He was headed to Flagstaff. No one has had contacts. Now in Flagstaff, they had snow. You got to remember, Flagstaff is at 6,000 feet or something like that. It's a cold place. And last I saw, they had a snowstorm down there. He's on a UFO cruising around. Do you believe Darwinian nesting place here? Here in nine? Yeah, I believe that there is. I don't know if you've heard of the economist. His name was Malthus, Malthus, and he had what was called the Malthusian solution. Once in a while, society carries along so much dead wood, physiologically speaking, that something comes along that'll take a swath of society, a swath of people out off the face of the earth because the earth reached its boundaries of sustainability. So I don't know, climate change may be accelerating that too. This whole virus thing might be born out and we might be in a viral future. Who in the hell knows? I know it was like a very warm winter, almost non-existent in the nation. So that doesn't portend well for things like viruses. They closed all roads into Texas from Louisiana today. Stay away from people, sugarcane. Get a T-shirt made. Stay the away. Okay. I want to see Sugarcane do that video. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I want to see that one. Hey, Tom Finland, how you doing? Nice to see you. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. As far as I'm also going to be pointing my channel to try to give people some pointers too. There will be people, they will not be purchasing RVs, but they will be looking for probably minivans and things like that that they can possibly live in, old station wagons, maybe panel vans and things like that. So I'm going to be putting up some more content with some tips that I learned after months of the hottest weather that America can throw out, and some very cold upper 20s, low 30s weather too for some boondocking and things. I can stay here for another 100 years without seeing people. Woo! How you doing, hipster? Nice to see you. I like to see people. You guys know I'm addicted to people. I'm a people person. And there's nothing I like better than getting on the street and bullshitting with people and having a pop-up party and having a few beers and hanging out. That's the thing that hurts me the most. Not seeing the people on the street to hang with, to have the simple, fun conversations. Yeah, how you doing? Yeah, yeah, yeah. What's going on? What's the cool thing about this town? What's going on? I miss that like crazy. I miss that a lot. TR and I, Sonia, haven't seen you in a long time, you beautiful thing. I thought TR might start up one of his chats in recognition of the times, just for old time's sake. Since the prepping stuff has really paid off big time now, I thought he'd really be in his glory doing one of them. But I hope you're staying safe, Sonia. I miss him too. I saw his video. How you doing, TNR? Look into container, raised bed, vertical victory garden. Everyone can grow something. Salads. Yeah, we'll put down some stuff. I just don't know yet. We have a mellow winter here in Utah. In Parsippany area, they have plenty of snow. So nice to see you, honey. I'm gonna get something to drink. I'm not gonna drink any. I don't feel like beer tonight. I'm gonna get something to drink. Right. Keep that social distance from me, Missy Jen. You almost violated the 12-foot rule. What's up, Whiskey? Yeah, we try to have fun here. Life goes on. You know, there's large sections of the country out here in California, knock on wood. I don't know what the situation is up in Redding, up near Wags Way, if they have cases there, but we seem to be pretty well managed today. We had no new cases here in Sonoma County that I could tell, which was a good thing here. I think California's done a wonderful job so far of keeping things pretty flat. LA, they might go off the Richter scale. I don't know. Who knows down there? TR was on the chat last night. Was he on my chat? How did I miss him? How the hell did I miss him? He was on my chat. I'm so sorry I missed him. So sorry I missed him. Herd immunity is rubbish. Board theory. Let's try that here. I live in one of the worst part of where the virus exploded. Oh, okay. I'm sorry to hear, Wellspoo. Um, okay, man. See, I just get up to speed and he has some things. Okay, yeah. Well, he's got my digits, Sonia. If he ever decides to fire up a special edition of TR Prepper, there's so much to talk about with restricted gun sales here and gun stores considered non-essential. And we have a lot of Second Amendment auditors that are filing suits now. And I think it's a very interesting time to also consider the future. As far as herd mentality is concerned, ultimately, I think that is what wins in the end. It's what won in 1918, and I hate to say that. There's nothing that they really did in 1918 except a little bit of half-ass quarantining here and there. But otherwise, the United States was engaged in the war to end all wars, and factories were on full tilt production. And like I told you, Woodrow Wilson was fully aware that there were guys dying by the scores in camps, training camps, facilities like that. And every time they told him, man, we got to lighten up these, like, man, just load up those transport ships. Well, people are going to die on the way. Well, they die. They're going to spread this. Well, they're going to spread it. And that's the way it is. And sorry, you keep working, you keep making those shells at the factory until you fall over in your place. That's the bottom line, or else you don't get paid. So that was kind of a herd immunity. It just finally went underground and disappeared by late 1919 and 1920. It had all but disappeared. So drowning is pain. I don't know about drowning is. mm. Yeah, TNR. I watched my mother die of. She had ovarian cancer. Unfortunately, she was unable to. She had an allergic reaction to Taxol, which was the latest chemotherapy drug. So they gave her bleomycin, which was an old school one, and it destroyed her lungs. And I sat there at her side in that hospital bed, holding her hand when she drew her last breath. So I saw the struggle. And if I could have just ended it, I would have. Ventilator at the last one. I'm gonna go. I'll just go out with some morphine. Good night. Good night, Tammy. You stay safe. You stay safe. Okay. Saw gas for $1.30. Yeah, wholesale gas is, as I talk tonight. Gasoline on the futures market is $20 a barrel, and wholesale gasoline on the futures market is 57 cents a gallon. Okay, so I guess they want you to pour it over your breakfast cereal and everything else. So to those who said oil would run out one day, well, there's not enough places to put it right now. So let's see. The air is clearing up with not so much pollution. Yeah, we do, Spike. The air is getting better. Yeah, the chemo killed her, TNR. It absolutely ravaged her lungs. She might have had 6 more months or so of somewhat of a quality of a life, but that was taken away. The pulmonologist did not properly monitor because it was an old line drug. How you doing? Cobra John? You said buy at 16. I think 1800s where they draw the line. I'm still holding. I'm just saying. I'm going to keep it upbeat. But we may go back to the 2009 lows. Okay. before we get some type of really long sustained super bounce. I'm just putting it out there. Just because this is unprecedented in the history of our country. We were at war when the Spanish flu occurred. There was more production off the chart. That was all the stimulus you needed was, fighting the Huns or whatever and worry about what was going on become of Europe. That was all the stimulus that people needed back then, and they went about their job. And in the city of Philadelphia in October of 1918, 11,000 plus people died in that month. So yeah, I really miss her. It'll be 20 years on Good Friday. So 279 for regular. I'm supposed to graduate college during, yeah, Joseph, it's tough. I have money in cruise lines. They hold money overseas, not covered. Yeah, the cruise lines, they're registered as flagged in other countries, and not too many of their jobs. A lot of their revenue comes out of the United States, but everything's a short-term band-aid anyway. It's loans, and if things don't fill up again, the loans are just gonna go bad anyway. It's not like it's a gift. Too many different scientists to hide it. I feel, yeah, you are a YouTube celebrity here, Cobra John. My friend's daughter works on Oasis Disease. She's got home and is quarantined awaiting her. It has the respiratory. Oh, wow. Sorry to hear that. Yeah. It's, all those kids that were partying in Florida, now we're seeing the results of that as they went back to their communities in the Southwest predominantly. Most of us poor folk, check to check, have not found most of my life world recipe. It's all good. That's right, Spike. Keep your lifestyle low to the ground, and you never have to worry about anything. It's the people that fly high that become the most embittered. The people that thought that they were going to be superstars on YouTube, and now they face the reality of something that they never imagined. They had themselves driving Cadillacs in their dreams, and now the world is turned upside down.
68 Rolls Royce last night.
You were driving a 68 Rolls Royce last
Yeah,
night.
I don't drive Cadillacs anymore.
That's okay, sugar cane. Spray that down. The bailouts are gifts if they don't lay. Well, not up to a point they are, Janet. They're certainly not gifts to the airlines. And they're not gifts to the banks. All right, the Federal Reserve isn't in the gifting business for that. Small business, yes, but not big business. My mother gone 20 years, stroke, yep. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I think we're all remaining hopeful. They spent every penny. Like I said, when you think along a straight line, you don't think in terms of dips and ups and downs. But we all know in life always throws the curveball once in a while. So I'm good. Wash the container in the sink before you open them. That's it. Yeah, that's it. We cut our budget way back until the day. Good for you, Cobra John. It won't hurt you. You got a nice roof over your head. You got a nice family. You don't know anybody jack shit on YouTube. Okay. Take care of number one. Get yourself one of those foam fingers, right? We're number one. We're number one. We're number one. I'm glad the pudding was good. I like a good pudding, especially when it's well chilled. I like that. I don't think I've ever made chilled pudding. Remember, people that money in our government. The government does not have money. Yeah, I'm staying home, even if I do have meth walls. I think I'm sick from all the lies, so I'm used to crapping. Yeah, but be careful, Julie. Make sure you're getting plenty of air. Life is good. Yeah, be careful, Julie. You don't want to get some toxic syndrome of inhaling all that, sanitizing your lungs with Lysol. Let's see, America's total value 100 trillion, burned 25 trillion already. That's why I say, David, more a few trillion the Federal Reserve is blowing into the equation isn't going to probably amount to a hill of beans when all is said and done. The balloon has too big of a hole in it. Let's see, bread pudding sounds good. I don't think I've ever had a bread pudding. Every time I look at a bread pudding, well, I'm not going to tell you what I think it looks like. I don't want to. I don't want to gross anybody out on here. So, yeah, and if you're enjoying the chat, everybody, please stop a second to give a thumbs up. It'll be appreciated. The woman at work sprayed me last week. The stuff sink, TS. Maybe clean the walls with some TSP. Tom says, watch the New York City live streamer, total e-bagging, and the fools were donating to it, doing nothing but eating pizza. Eating pizza for content. Woo! I don't. I'm not going to comment on that, Tom Finland. To me, uh, I'm offended when people come on and demand taxes or demand to be lit up like a Christmas tree. There was one guy that would demand all that's not demand, but would constantly flogging people with give me money and let's make this person mad by donating now. And then now they've flipped the script and don't give anything to anybody because nobody's giving anything to them anymore. It's funny. It depends where you sit on the equation. It's like the fox and the crow, right, with the sour grapes. I have to laugh about that too. You don't owe anybody on YouTube anything. A random act of kindness will be a random act of kindness. But this coming on and oh man, I lost it all. I'm down to $18.20, and if I don't get, I'm not going to close out this. I'm not going to turn off this live stream until I get $500 on it. I wonder how that's going to play in July and August. I wonder how that tune is going to play. So it's all funny money. Just keep adding zeros. It's all good. It's YouTube. That's it. So it is what it is. People come here to be entertained. It's not a church. It's not a social organization. It's not a socialist redistribution of wealth organization. It's an entertainment vehicle. And people will gravitate to where the entertainment value is highest, and they will pass up places where it's not entertaining. Simple as that. Like the coach Charlie Ekman used to say on Baltimore Sports Radio, it's a very simple game. Yes, it is. Even if you get a super chat, then I get into your account. Yes, they go into your account for the month. Feel a little better today. Great. Glad to hear that, North Hose. Yeah, everybody's patience. Well, that's what I'm saying, crazy. Had those kind of streams. Um, effectively, what that, I call that, what would I call it? Beating the tambourine. Put a cover story on your title, to set the stage, and then milk it. Okay, I'm feeling down. I'm feeling depressed. To my way of thinking, man, you better hold fire if stuff really gets bad. Okay, because by that time, there'll be no cavalry coming over the hill. All right. And all that's effectively doing is keeping that person from facing the reality that the well is running dry. Okay, you're going to have to find something else to do. Okay? That's all it is throwing you a bone to keep you going a little longer. And then next time you come on, you offend a new group of people. Then you start working into your long timers that are hurting themselves, have been laid off or had reduced hours, benefits cut. And they're going to click on YouTube and, oh, my God, this joker again. Are you kidding me? I mean, that's it. I don't know why anybody ever got the idea that YouTube is for supporting your life. Yeah, thank you, Kathleen. I mean, that's just the way I feel about things, and I'm one myself I'll probably remonetize in a couple days. But I'll be damned if I would ever come on a chat and tell people to send me money. What would be the point? What do I need right now? A beer on the road, something that's a different story. Something that's highly entertaining. Hey, have a good time, blah blah blah. But my embarrassment level would be off the chart to come on and, well, guys, I'm depressed tonight. My wig's burned up in a fire. I don't have any more whiskey. Dog's got fleas. I haven't had a good steak in a month. The cupboard's bare. And I need you guys to step forward and fill the breach. Pay your taxes. Yeah, be your own cavalry. Yeah, all this Baltimore talk. We need the Clippers. Yeah, we'll get them tomorrow. As busy, of course, sell it bang. AdSense CPM click through cost per 1,000 is already dropping dramatically. Only the dummies with the overinflated egos will refuse to see the writing on the wall, and they will go whistling past the graveyard while they stumble right into an open grave, knock themselves out, and the next morning the boys at the cemetery won't even look in the hole. They'll just go ahead and push the dirt in, and that'll be the end of the game. Dogs got fleas. That's it. I think it's all you do there. Well, that's it. Right? You got to put up content. Yeah, I don't beg. Rosie never begged. Provide more content. Of course. Provide content. Provide content. That's what you're here to do on YouTube. That's your prime directive. Okay? And I've always seen it as just entertainment. There's two Patreons that I support. And I'll continue to do so because they're nice people. And it's not that much, not going to make a difference in their life. And there's people I chip money to on the streets in real life. That's the way it should work. You know, the success stories of the Peter, no frog in the well. That's it, Whiskey G. The Peter McKinnon stories are few and far between, from 0 to 1 million subscribers in a year. Does it happen? Yeah. Unfortunately, a few people hitch their wagon to that and delude themselves that they are the show, that they somehow matter in the scheme of YouTube, and they overestimate their own importance and their own value. You know, I don't want to see anybody come to a bad end on YouTube, but there's going to be a lot of people coming to a bad end coming up, and a lot of the people that were very negative players on here. Hey Kathleen, thanking me a thumbs up on that. Stealing, yeah, I don't weigh in on that because I didn't watch that. Please sing into your fist. Yeah, there you go. Sweet. Yeah, keep. That's what I do. See, I've always looked ahead. I've been around a long time, a lot longer than some of these clowns out there that demand taxes when they give you nothing in return except the most boring content on planet Earth. You know, reviewing a can of coffee as if it's going to make a difference in what you buy at the grocery store. Or reviewing a purchase at a Burger King as if it's going to make one bit of a difference to what the hell you do. To do and to ride on the back of RV reviews that nobody's going to care about anymore. The trending search just went right off the table. People's interest in RVs just popped just like that. What an ugly combination. No talent, no discernible skills, no discernible means of support. Let's put 2 and 2 together. It equals no future. Those of us who worked for 46 plus years, grew up hearing the horror stories of the Great Depression and putting newspapers into shoes and pieces of cardboard and just getting by and stretching out meals and hamburger helpers and all that kind of stuff. We understood the value of a dollar. We understood that we were living in artificially propped up times. And there could come a day when the stuff might hit the fan. And we took care of our responsibilities, whether it was educating our kids, paying our bills, or putting money aside for the future. We did it. So provided I don't get the COVID-19, which I hope I don't, I may, then this isn't going to slow me down one bit. It's not going to make a hoot and a holler difference to me. The Burger King, I would eat so fast, couldn't be. I would eat so fast it couldn't be filmed. You can't even sit inside of a Burger King or a fast food place here. They don't allow it. It's only drive up. It's only takeout food. I could care less about it, but I care if I would get sick and if I will get not worrying about that. Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm so happy Taco Bell is still open. Yeah, you can still keep blowing those covers off the bed, Whiskey. Yeah, that's long gone. Well, it's just, it's people aren't stupid, North Shore, we know what's coming. We don't revel in it, or most of us, but we feel it's life has a way of leveling itself off, of dishing out karma, of taking care of social misfits, of societal misfits, of lazy people that have no skill, no talent, no drive, no ambition, no ability to entertain, no ability to endear themselves to people. I did get a pizza. Good. Do you make money from comments? No, you don't make money from comments, a number of comments and live chats. It's all views. And to my knowledge, you can't buy views on a live chat. Okay? For the other idiot out there. And now the end is near, and so I face the final shawarma. I've had them all. I've collected your taxes. I've eaten myself into oblivion. And yet, if I had to do it again, I'm too dumb to. And through it all, la, da, 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 I took the blows and spit them out. The record shows. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you and all your friends. Yeah, I spent all my money on the hookers, and all I got was this lousy STD, right? I'm gonna get a refill. I'll be right back, guys. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. You can buy Bisgol from India. What would be the point? It's not going to make you any more money. It's not going to get you any subscribers. MB, what a way to start my Monday. How you doing, MB? I hope you're staying safe over there in Belgique. What a Mitch Miller show. That's it. Do, 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 do. Da 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 da. Do 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 do. That's entertainment. Sad note, I'm just waiting for them to shut down our liquor store I live in, and we can't just go to the grocery store and buy liquor. We can buy beer, but that's it. Someone out this stuff, plastic bread bags all around the windows. I guess it helps stop the air coming in. Uh, uh, no, Red Sol. It's because he's asking questions because he doesn't have any content to talk about. He's boring. So unless he has me to talk about or questioning the audience, he has no. The wells run dry. There's nothing to talk about. Nobody does parodies anymore. It's what we call sliding into irrelevancy. It's a painful slide. We're in lockdown. I heard he did crazy. Probably just a warning strike though. So, um, but obviously I'm what's best for business now. So I think we are looking through the same glasses. It is refreshing, Dave Peterson. It is refreshing. Governments love liquor for taxes, and you don't want to take away people's liquor in times like these. I'm sorry, you don't want to take away people's grass. You don't want to take away people's cigarettes. You don't want to take away people's liquor. All right, you don't want to do that. It's what people cling on to put a smile on their face sometimes. So surely keeping liquor stores open means they get their fix not going through withdrawals and exactly. Uh, Frog in the well with no water. Well, I mean, you couldn't write a better scenario for self-destruction. I mean, it's off the chart. Like I said, I think my visual of Niagara Falls is perfect analogy. And I don't have to talk about other people to drive views. I just put up my content. It's all I've ever done, and that's grown the audience of people that enjoy that content. They don't come here for the drama sphere. Dirty Deletes. Well, that's what I'm saying. They'll nail them because they're so fast now. But he'll the ultimate he'll get nasty. He'll lose the monetization. And the money will dry up, and then he'll just become a really nasty. You'll see the real animalistic person that's inside the animal. It's sad to say there's no soul in there. It's just an animal. So dry can you can change membership. And then, did you watch the press? No, Missy Jen watched it tonight. So We're coming for moonshine. Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, you'll expect to see the real one on the way out the door when all that pent up bitterness and stuff, because at that point it's a future of work and a grim ham and egging 9 to 5 life on the chain gang, on the shovel gang, on the forestry program. Rise and shine, girls. Rise and shine, ladies. Oh, to be a fly on the wall that day will be a glorious, glorious thing. Uh, Liquor stores. Yeah, I can't believe that, Killer Queen. Uh, what a thank you, Thomas. A shame on this. Shame on the state of Pennsylvania. But I'm sure liquor stores in Parkton, Maryland, and over the border in Ohio, and New York, and New Jersey, and Delaware. I'm sure they're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm sure they're like, this is the greatest thing that happened in the history of the world. Yeah, it might happen, Bob. Might happen. But life will do something that YouTube couldn't. Back to it's a good time to quit. Wow, it's a good time to quit drinking. What the hell? I can't even. Yeah, the guys too, Tom. Yes, the guys do count. They do. I'm thinking. So Philadelphia, you can't. You can't buy liquor in Philadelphia. That's part of Pennsylvania? Obviously, Philadelphia. It's not the capital of Pennsylvania, but Harrisburg being the capital. But you're telling me that there are no liquor stores, or it just seems strange to me. Let's see. I'm going to the falls as soon as weather lets. Bus fare is free. Niagara Falls is one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life. I did that cinematic video beneath the roaring falls. Went out on that. I'm going to switch that with the Tijuana when soon, my gateway video, because I'm really proud of that one I did out on the Canadian boat on the Canadian side. Went out to the falls. Close the schools, but keep the liquor stores open. Yeah, well, that's it. That's it, Bob. But that's the beauty of the future, in my opinion. Is that may not be in 2020, but there'll be a time when everybody's got to carry their weight. So. I'm not. No, as you get a warning strike and then 3 regular strikes. So warning strike is never goes away, but it from then on you accrue real strikes. Dave Ramsey try to have a say. Good for you, Joseph. Hey Jay, how you doing? Yeah, I wanted to be out there mowing lawns, doing yard work. Hell, I remember banging on people's doors. And at age 13, 14, having some decent accounts. I remember this. I mean, it was terrible to say. I think it was 13 years old. My brother and I used to go together and work on the lawn, and we'd just split the money. And we had this woman named Mrs. Cooper, and I don't know. I guess we screwed up the lawn or something, cut it too short, or and she came. The window flew open on the side of the house, and there she was leaning out the window with, she didn't even have a top on, her big tits hanging out on the side, yelling at yelling at us, all 300 glorious pounds of her out that window. Yeah, I mean, I mean, it just, I couldn't conceive of not working. It was impossible um, to have to have responsibilities and not to blow them off, but to take care of the things that you're supposed to take care of. How you doing, Trailer Park Mom? Nice to see you. Uh, I mean, it was a normal part of growing up. So, I mean, that was life. I was so busy working. I mean, when I was, we couldn't wait to get a job. We couldn't wait to get a. They called it a work permit. If you were below the age of 16, I think it was, you had to have a work permit that the city of Baltimore would issue because people wouldn't pay you. So we had a work permit. I couldn't wait to get out of the house and get my own money in my pocket without depending on a 50 cents a week allowance. Jeez, 50 cents a week. Please, Mom, may I have some more? Get the hell out of the house, you little bastard. Go make some money. Well, I'm not going to go there, Bob, but you know, I like Narce. He's a very nice, you know, he's a hard-working kid, and I like him. Uh, let's see. Real life. Let's see. Real life. I just got your message. You are unblocked. Thank you. On here, I'm just sweeping down here. I'm trying to do this while we're live because people do send me unblock requests on here. So here's another one too. And thank you, Myra, for that. Thank you very much, sweetie. I appreciate that. And you know who you are. Let me look something else up on here. Berg. Okay. Phuket just went down into lockdown in Thailand. Huh? That's interesting. Let's see something real quick. Do 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 do. Anything goes. All right. Maybe it's the best thing that could happen. Worked in the field. He has a work permit. I don't mean. Oh, I hear you. I hear you, Bob. My son at work been to bring the cards. Yeah, it was a good thing. It doesn't hurt you. You know, work has that ability. It makes you feel good. There's a feel good factor to it that you feel good that you're contributing, and that somebody thinks that you're good enough to put money in your pocket in real life. I mean, I've always thought that that's a really great feeling. I mean, I think all of us remember our very first paycheck. It was like shock and awe. The awe was, yeah, there's real money here. The shock was how much they took out in in federal, state, and Social Security. What the hell? uh, yeah, that's it. That's it. So it does. Yeah, we got the normal people. Yeah, start pumping gas when you're 15. Yeah, EJ, is that milk? It does your body good looking, looking good. Thank you, sweetie. Yes, it does fill you out. I can't. Anyone never. Well, Killer Queen, just send me, like I said, just send me a link. Just write me. I can make it like new at gmail.com. Just send me the link to your channel and I can unblock it. You've always been nice on here. Sometimes things happen, okay? I'm not aware of everything that goes on in the chat. But I don't second guess my moderators when they're doing their job, or you're not going to have moderators. Okay. Get a chance, check out Dr. John Campbell and talk about the big CV in layman's terms. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Martin's talking out there. Make some. Yeah, it would be. It would be, Bob. But that's work, and that's you know. I'm not going to say any more about it. Let's just say that things are rolling along on track here, so it's going to be an interesting future. I don't know. I haven't seen Smooth Operator in a while. I hope he's doing okay. I hope his health is good. He and his wife are elderly, so I hope that they're doing okay and sheltering with the family. He's always been a wonderful friend of mine, steady through, always will be. So, 2000 blue collar worker, overtaxed for sure. Yep, 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 yep. Yeah, it might be Killer Queen, but now that we know who you are in here, you only have one bad mod. He's a great friend with you know who. Well, he hardly comes around anymore. Crazy to tell you the truth. The only way I'm gonna make it out of the corona is be a Ron Mayer for the gateway. How you doing, JoJo? Yeah, I haven't seen him around in weeks. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't. How you doing, Floozy? I haven't gone on to Elbows chats in weeks, so I don't know if he's there or not. Because frankly, he now has slipped into having the most boring content on YouTube. There's nothing worth watching. It's just you know, a guy sitting in a van talking about events of which he knows nothing about and can't bring any interesting light to bear on it. So I just unsubbed and moved on. There's too many dynamic people out there that we can learn things from and get sage advice from. I don't need to waste time with boring content. You make yeah, miss the old days. You make me think of the good times. Well, the good times continue, Jay. Good times continue. There's still going to be people putting up entertaining content on YouTube. There's still going to be people doing tremendous projects at home. There's artistic people in the community, outstanding photographers. There's outstanding woodworkers, people that do quilting. There's people that cook. There's people that work with metal. There's people that do jewelry. There's people that metal detect. There's so many great things that people do on YouTube. Why do we need to waste our time with something that's boring and old and repetitive and just the same stuff day in, day out? Not to toot my horn, but numbers show what people want to watch. You guys feel the same way. Go watch Mouse Toes do her wonderful cooking. Kiwana. Uh, uh, there's so many people that are doing great stuff on here. Chicago. Truckers now some of the most, yeah, truckers are rolling on, man. They're keeping things rolling. They're keeping things absolutely, yeah, there's so much talent on YouTube. I'm amazed at the things that people do. Even a guy that takes 2 weeks to set up dominoes for one little 3-minute show. Who can resist? I can't resist that stuff. I got my guilty pleasures on here. It's wonderful. The fruit trees, Kathleen. Kathleen said, "How's the fruit trees? The fruit trees are unbelievable right now. I have a bumper crop of citrus is going to be outrageous this year. Every variety of orange is doing great. 2 plum trees fully loaded, a peach tree fully loaded. Going to have the first pears this year. some cherries. The apple tree is going to be fully loaded. It's going to be a great, great year. We're going to be able to donate lots and lots of food this year, which has always been our goal. That's right, Jen. Well, eventually things become so boring that people just stop watching it anyway, and they're already stopping. The numbers are so down. They're in the toilet. My B channel is going to overtake his probably in a month. Let's see. That's what I'm saying. Even watching goats being born is good. Where are you, Peter Frampton? In? Do you remember that song? Where are you when Peter Frampton in? Do you remember that song? I remember Frampton Comes Alive, the album. Do 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 do. Wonder where you. Yeah, I can't remember all the words, but I sure like that album. That was a great, great album. Frampton Comes Alive, but I want you to be the first to say goodnight and thank. Oh, okay. Red Solo Cup, good to see you. Frampton Comes Alive. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what his other. Kansas was another big dust in the wind. All we do crumbles through the ground in Korea. I was trying to get old woman to add him to their will so he could lead the circle. Oh, good luck. It's what we call the last desperate acts of a riverboat gambler. Bob Spike Love. Do you feel like I do? Yep. I think he was the first like early auto tune. Aquascaping. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Yeah, you should plant a garden if you can this year, just for the satisfaction, the psychological satisfaction of providing. Yeah, do you feel like I do? Carry on my wayward son. All right, Killer Queen, thank you. Look at how I'm on the job here. Watch this. Boom. All right. Look at Rosie Can Do. There we go. Well, I need to show you right here, honey. You're not blocked, or it would come up as blocked. Okay. You're not blocked. So I'm not quite sure what's going on, but you are not blocked. Okay. I mean, every time I need a laugh these days, all I'm doing is I'm watching old comedies. I'm watching Seinfeld, and I'm watching Good Night Monkey Boy. I'm watching Curb Your Enthusiasm and all that. So uh, let me hold on one second here. Let me just mute this first. Testing 1 2 3. Sorry about that. I had to listen to something. I didn't watch Ozark. Yeah, Frampton Comes Alive. Ozfest and sooner or later. When I first saw you were doing metal detecting, I was waiting the next time. Waiting next time. This is going to be the week. This is going to be the week. I'm going to be low profile. I'm going to maintain social distancing. You cannot go into parks, but I've never found my best finds in parks. Okay, I may go out to Sebastopol to where that homeless camp was that I walked through and see if we can pick up some change in some of those areas and probably do a little bit of detecting out in Sebastopol. So, how do you find a girlfriend in this environment? Yes, exactly. How do you find a girlfriend? You just do the what do they call that? Virtual dating. uh, yeah, check for you, Killer Queen. I'm not sure. I don't understand at all. I would, I would certainly never. I would never. You've always been a fun chatter on here. I don't have any. Never had an issue. I've asked. Oh, the landlord says no. Wow, that's dumb. Yeah. Right. So grow inside with grow lights and windows. Yeah, then it might become a pain in the butt. You could probably do like a one tomato plant or something like that. That's a shame. The landlord should be getting with the program and allowing people to do that and to get a little bit of fresh air and all that. So let's see, any re-up. I just read, man. I go back. I watch. How you doing, Eddie? I watch Ozzy and Harriet show. I binge watched that for many episodes of that. I go back and watch classic movies from the 30s and the 40s. They're all free, and there's some really good. There's some really good ones in there, and I like the. I like that freebie aspect of it. If I don't have to pay, it's a beautiful day. I always say that. I guess Slab City, Slab City. Why is Crazy Head said Slab City's dangerous now? Very dangerous. What what do you think about what in particular about Slab City makes you think that it's especially dangerous right now? Uh, Ricky Nelson was a wild child. Yeah, they did okay. I mean, I got to hand it to them. They held that family together through like 1964 or 65, whenever the last show was. Yeah, yeah. What do you base that on? I'm interested, Crazy, if it's. I mean, certainly they've never had any real law and order anyway down there. So I don't. I never thought it was the safest place to be anyway. So I don't know. I grew an A+ Panama red bush in a vine. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Crazy heads are out and full of thieves. They've always had a thieving problem. Yeah, there's tons of great old movies on YouTube. How you doing, Ace? I'm not sure if I'm not going to go to Slab City. I watched the Ambersons movie list from the opening scene. The sun. That's what I'm saying. The kid was a punk. You guys got to see the Ambersons. It's like the punk in the van, and you see the way it all came unglued. I love that scene at the end. I mean, it's the magnificence of the early um, Orson Welles when he was considered the boy genius or whatever at that time after Citizen Kane, where they show that it's like a three-story staircase, octagonal or something staircase, and uh, Agnes Moorehead keeps following the punk up flight by flight, they're yelling at each other, climbing the stairs. It's a tremendous scene. Okay, thank you, Killer Queen. I'm surprised cops are checking in there every day now. Someone broke into a local pawn shop and stole all the guns. I'm not surprised. I'd be scared to. I'd be scared to work in a pawn shop. The coronavirus driving people to the slabs. Many are broken. They will rob. Yeah, and I mean, you people come into there and they're like a pigeon, ready to be plucked. That come into Slab City. I can kind of see that. I can kind of see that. To be, like fresh meat in the compound there. I'd be very concerned about that. I don't, I've often thought, guys, is there that much to really compel me to go there? Welcome to Sell, but that was a few years ago. Yeah, I would go in daytime, Spike. It would just be a daytime roll through. I would boondock over an island, but I wouldn't spend a night over at Slab City unless I was in the range or something like that, or with community cause at his compound, or else I would just head out of there after the event was over at the range or whatever. I would get the hell out of Dodge. Thank you, Holly. Incredible free movie, The White Buffalo with Charles Bronson. Incredible. That's cool. Jupiter Ascending is a great movie. There's a lot of great movies out there. One that always blew me was uh, Diary of a Lost Girl, starring a very beautiful Louise Brooks. It's almost like this movie was made in 2018 or something. It's a black and white movie, and the production values. It's made in Germany, and it's dubbed in English, but the production values, silent movie, but the production values are just incredible. And Louise Brooks is just stunning in that movie, and she was born in Cherryvale, Kansas. Yeah, well, not much I can do, Victor. Not being family and privy to the family contact numbers and things like that about D. All I can do is text. I don't know what his agenda. I don't know what his flight plan was. He's a 40-year-old, 39-year-old guy. I've texted, I've called, I've left messages every single day. I don't know, Victor. Why don't you get in your car, Victor, and why don't you head down to Arizona, and why don't you see if you can find him, Victor, since you're so worried about him? Okay, he's not my family. He's not next to kin. Black Bigot was a lot closer to him. They got each other's numbers and stuff. There's limits to what I'm gonna do. Okay, some people want to dip low profile for a while. If you're that particularly worried about it, Victor, get in your car, drive to Arizona, and start your hunt in whatever it was, Flagstaff. That's where somebody said he was headed. So why don't you do that? That would be my best advice to you. Would be to make that call. Yeah, Louise Brooks' interview on YouTube when she was, I guess, in 1985. Very interesting. She refused, the first actress to refuse the casting couch in Hollywood. She told Louis B. Mayer to go F himself and headed off to Germany to make movies. Interesting. I know Victor's a troll. I know that. That's why I'm not particularly concerned about things. If they had COVID, you would have had. Yeah, exactly. I'm not Superman. So Superwoman, Superman. Did didn't catch his cold. You heard him sitting next to me, sneezing, stuffed up. He never exhibited a cough. So. Uh, I got excited for the thought of with the current restriction, complete lack, I would think he's lying low, not to mention backing off on expenses. Yeah, well, his own special avocation is in very high demand right now. What he does for a job is incredibly busy these days. So um, Victor, never call the police unless you want to see that person arrested of violence down there. I don't know. I was saying Victor can be proactive, right? Uh, Gatsby, Ernest Hemingway, and Allen all hung out. They all did. The Lost Generation, right, Sean? Right? They were the lost generation that thought American life just sucked, and they needed to be amongst the high society and bohemian life of the Parisian cafes after World War One. Dee la da 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 dee la da 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 doo. So they could sit around the cafes of Paris thinking deep and metaphysical thoughts. That's why F. Scott Fitzgerald in The Great Gatsby was such a great capture of that, the essence of that time and the ridiculousness of it. Yeah, Sneeze in a Bank yesterday was the most attention I've had in 10 years. How about some of these idiots that cough on people and cough on groceries? And I mean, it's unbelievable. I'm glad they're being charged as terrorists now. I'm glad. Never really had a cough. Her throat looked awful. Okay. Louise Black, she had the most beautiful voice. I love her anyway when she was in her night robers. Yeah, that was it. I always thought she was the most beautiful starlet of the 1920s. She didn't do many. She hardly did anything here, but she was the one that took the bob big time in on the silver screen. She was the one that made it explode to be popular in the 1920s. But nobody's ever heard of her. But look at that movie, the silent movie, Diary of a Lost Girl, and you'll see something pretty wild. Van Halen, that's it. Yeah, don't watch any outbreak movies, crazy. Don't watch. Oh man, don't watch those movies, okay? Life imitates art, right? Yeah, we know, Victor. That's why you just deleted the. That's why you just retracted the message, right? Because you can't stand by what you posted in here because you're just a troll. Just move on, Victor. Okay, you don't really bring anything to the table. In this country, Madowicz, if you cough on somebody, they're charging you. They're charging you with a terroristic act. So it becomes a federal government crime. So if you want to watch a movie, I don't want to watch Contagion. I don't want to watch Contagion. I'd rather watch Raising Arizona or something like that, or yeah, a movie like that. I'd rather watch. Running Johns Hopkins, working with. Sean says, I'm so proud of you, Rosie. Johns Hopkins Medical University worked with influenza. Glad you went to Baltimore, put that university. That university's always been on the map. Johns Hopkins and always vies for the #1 medical institution in the United States. Yeah, well, damn, Victor. Well, you got to raise your game, man. You're just so transparent, you know. I mean, retracting and doing all the stuff that dumb stuff that trolls do. Put something out there and then retract it so it doesn't show up on the replay. Yeah, you're good. Yeah, criminal intent. That's it. Yeah. I saw her mugshot video, you know, and she looked like a goofball. She looked like, yeah, love Raising Arizona. You got to see comedy movies, man. That's what you need to see. Go pay to watch a Cheech and Chong movie. Up in smoke, all my dreams do. I love that. I love that. Well, it's the times we live in, Matowicks. You can't have people doing that. One thing that they've noticed that somebody alerted me, a friend of mine sent me something, that people that seem to have this COVID-19 tend to have their eyes are very red. They're very bloodshot looking. And that seems to be one of the common denominators, which I thought was very interesting. Yeah, I heard that too, Julie. A doctor got arrested for doing that. Yeah. Yeah, reading is a good option. Learn a skill. Learn something new. Yeah, the Honeymooners. I wish they did more than one season of the Honeymooners. I love that show. Absolutely love that show. And if you want to see even earlier Jackie Gleason, look at Jackie Gleason Cavalcade of Stars, really early Jackie Gleason stuff, the early days of TV. So much free. Yeah, there's some of the best stuff is on YouTube. Some of the absolute best stuff. Reading is nice too. I don't know if you use a Kindle. I don't think I'd be getting any library books. I remember how movies that were to be released in theater being offered on demand on the same day. Yeah, they gave my kiddo pink eye medic. She looks like she was punched. Yeah, I think that that's an interesting thing, Julie. I'm surprised I don't hear more about that. Surprised I don't hear more about that. While I check my, let me check my baby blues. Yeah, that's it. Half of California and Nevada. I'm sure Father's Knows Best is on there. A lot of the sitcoms, as long as you're not monetizing them, they put them all on there. My favorite, Martian, I Dream of Jeannie. In China, they were spitting on lift buttons. Wow. I don't know. Man, I'm really happy. This Streamlabs has been flawless. I've not had one since I revamped some things here on the settings. It's great. It's great. I'm so happy. Yeah, learn a new language. Um, Work on try to learn Spanish, something like that. Oh, don't. Well, this is not from rubbing it, Angus. It just people just have it. I think because of the early fever, it dilates their blood vessels or something, and um, I sure hope we get this thing under control. I sure hope we get things under control. Um, let's see. I don't know. Need Lord Farrow. I guess you were talking to somebody else in the chat. Hey, Miriam. Let's see. Crazy said today I watched a thing on YouTube that said Woody Harrelson's dad was a hitman and claimed to be a shooter in the JFK assassination. I don't know why people don't understand about Lee Harvey Oswald. Okay. I mean, if anybody had a bone to pick with Kennedy, it was Lee Harvey Oswald. Okay. Now, why would I say that? Does anybody know? Yeah, not being able to smell or taste is a symptom too. Why does anybody say that? The people that, like me, that don't believe in a conspiracy theory of that. Because they don't take the time to understand the background of this guy, Lee Harvey Oswald. Okay? Anybody know any notable facts of the background? And I'm not asking, I'm going to ask Cheryl, don't post it. But I'm just saying, does anybody know any of the background? Lee Harvey Oswald was a decorated shooter in the United States Marine Corps. Okay, he was a medal shooter, which means he was an expert marksman. He lived in Russia. He went to Cuba. He was pissed off about the Bay of Pigs invasion. Opportunity comes, coming to Dallas. I'm going to finish off this bastard once and for all. Not a big deal. All right. Ex-Marine. Well, you're never an ex-Marine, but a Marine. Expert marksman. Communist. Sympathizer. Distributed Cuban communist literature. Hated Kennedy with a passion. CIA had him on the radar screen. And they just ended up laughing about the guy. All right. So when people say, "Oh, this couldn't have happened. You couldn't got off this shot in this amount of time," yeah, you could. I just believe that there was one shooter. I always will. There was just one shooter. That was it. And he was it. And for an expert marksman, it wouldn't have been a big deal. They've had people go up there and recreate that. Decent marksmen do the same thing with truck riding down the street with sandbags, same shot, same amount of time, did the same thing. All right. If you're good, you're good. So I don't go down that rabbit hole. That's the way I feel, Red Soul. I don't go down there. There's nothing to be gained from that. It's just a debating point of history that, nobody will ever be satisfied no matter what you do. You could have Warren commissions at the wazoo and nobody would care about it. So, yeah, well, he was a dumb guy. Okay, he was an idiot. He was a true believer. He was an adherent to the principles of communism. And he went to the Russians to try to be an agent, and they laughed at him. Okay, they told him to get lost. He went to the Soviet embassy to try to offer his services. He married a Russian gal. Okay, very cool. If anyone gets a chance, I'm going to close it a while back. Yeah, he went to Russia, he spoke Russian, he married a Russian communist, exactly. Okay, if you talk about motivation, he got all the motivation in the world. Opportunity plus motivation, that's it. I remember Jamestown. Yeah, so I was, it wouldn't have anything to do with that. I was trying to get over a hangover. It wasn't me. I was trying to get over a hangover. Bob Dylan. Yeah, they just said that. Bob Dylan released a 17-minute song about the interesting. So that's the way I feel about things. People will start to pick things apart over time. They will. Yeah, I think he was. I think he left his first wife, Kathleen. I mean, the guy was a very troubled guy. Very troubled guy. And I think Jack Ruby thought he was doing America a favor, just like John Wilkes Booth thought he was doing the South a favor by shooting Lincoln. It's the worst thing they could have done. Yeah, I suppose you're going to tell me the earth is not flat. Yeah. I'm just thinking to myself, 25 years ago, you couldn't even have this conversation. I mean, it's just, we've taken such gigantic leaps backwards in common sense and common knowledge these days. It just blows my mind. Do you remember 7-Eleven? It just blows my mind. I mean, if you want it, you can make anything into a conspiracy theory. People don't talk about the governor of state of Texas was shot on that day too, right? Luckily he survived, but he took a bullet too. The earth is owned by Asher. Who the hell's Asher? We don't recognize that. We don't recognize that. We have one true God here. Who would you like to sit down with, Rosie, dead or alive? That's a very interesting question. Who would I like to sit down with? Man, I don't know. What a great question. That's probably one of the greatest questions I've ever been asked on. Probably one of the greatest questions I've ever been asked. I don't know. I really can't answer that right now. I'd have to think about that. I don't want to just say something dumb, John Lennon or something. Strawberry fields forever, do do do. Living is easy with eyes closed. Misunderstanding all you see. Yeah, Lyndon Baines Johnson was the architect of much of our disasters today with his Great Society. I'm trying to think about who I would like to talk to. I really don't know. A lot of people come through my mind. How did the French turn on their computer? By pressing, yeah, Control Alt Retreat. Yeah, it's a great question, Kathleen. That's a great question. I feel like I got things I need to know about Jesus from just the scriptures and things like that. I don't feel compelled to know anything in addition. To tell you the truth, I think everything's out there on that. Oh, Asher is the John Lennon Wilson artist. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure who. I'd probably sit down with John Maynard Keynes. I'd like to have a long discussion with him. It wouldn't be Yoko Ono, Lord Baltimore, Lord Calvert of Carrollton, Lord Baltimore. The famous Lord Baltimore Hotel, right? I'd like to talk to Einstein. I think he would be boring as hell. I don't know. That's a really great question. That's a really great question. I guess some of the people that I've read the most about in history, the Robert E. Lees, the great figures, I guess Jesse Livermore would be one. Probably the greatest individual speculator of all time on Wall Street, who ended up taking his own life in 1940. But what a fascinating and colorful life he led. His book Reminiscences of a Stock Operator is still a classic that they read and cherish today. He would have been one. Some of these big financial titans, I'd like to talk with George Water, Alexander Graham, but actually Claude Monet. Anyway, you just want to pretend. Yeah, just don't pretend too much or they'll put you in the loony bin. They put you in there, they lock you up in the nut farm, right? Einstein banged Monroe. Betty Davis would be one hell of a survivor. There was Tom Finland. There was just something I always found very off-putting about Betty Davis. I don't know whether it was her Connecticut, no offense to Connecticut, but just her Connecticut mannerism. Yeah, John Maynard Keynes was a flippin' goof, but he came up with some original thoughts, though. Bob that could have worked okay. It was actually the misapplication of his theories that stifled communism, because his theory held that you deficit spend when times are bad, but then in times of surplus you raise taxes and collect it. Well, been real bad on that part of that's where that was the weak part of the link. I handed the teller with the withdrawal slip. She had like large bills. She said, "Look to me. I'm sorry." So all the bills are the same size. I like that. Oh, Dave says I would set my parents down and explain how to raise a kid. Ooh, sounds like something there. She was a very hard worker. I don't have anything against her her work ethic, Tom Finland. Her work ethic was unparalleled. She was demanding. She was demanding of others on the set with her. She was a very difficult person to take direction, I believe, especially with one or two Academy Awards under her belt. And I just always, there's some actresses that it just felt natural. You didn't feel like that they were acting. Vivian Lee, I thought, was one that I never got the sense that she was acting. When the greats Gone with the Wind or Streetcar Named Desire. There was just something. Maureen O'Hara was another one. I thought it was a very natural actress. Irene Dunn was another great one that I never thought, yeah, from Lowell, Massachusetts. I could watch them all day. Now, Betty Davis really did shine in Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. That was a great role. Oh, by the way, Blanche, we've got rats in the basement. Man, I love that. There's just certain classic lines in Hollywood that I absolutely just loved. That's a great one, Julie. I mean, Jojo, that's a good one. That's a great line. Let's see if any other fan mail from a Flounders come through. Let's see. Huh. Coronavirus is a serious crisis for Singapore. Mm-mm-mm. They were they were strutting like peacocks that they had everything under control there. Huh. Guess not. Charles Bukowski. Name doesn't ring a bell to me. Stanwyck, Olympia Dukakis. The only plastic gloves are those in packs of hair dye. Margaret Mitchell. I think we'd all like to talk to. Yep, there's Johnny Wad, the dean of it all, the dean of Mexico. There, the king of Rosarito, the king of Rosarito. Like to talk to my father. I never met him. No, never did. I would have liked to. My grandmother died. She was an alcoholic. She died in, I guess, 1972 or something like that. I never really got to know her. Moonshining and never sober. I would have liked to have known some of her backstory. I know her and her sister were orphans that were adopted out. I never got the whole story, so. Rosie, would you sit down with Lucille Ball? Uh, I don't know. I don't, I think I know her story pretty well. Lucille Ball. I'd like to sit down with Desi Arnaz. I would have liked to know more of his backstory in Cuba. That would have been interesting. Anyone heard? I've heard that Moscow is under lockdown now. Cases have exploded in Russia. So, talk to my. Why do bankers make for great love? Because they know the penalty for early withdrawals. Yeah, they said, why would the other one about bankers that they told us is why would, somebody was going in to get a heart transplant and he told the doctors, please make sure that you find the heart that came out of a banker. And the doctor's like, what the hell would it matter? Why would you need the heart of a banker? And the patient's like, well, that way I could be sure that the heart was never used. So Garbo, I didn't get a lot out of Garbo, honestly. I would have rather have talked to what's her name? I can't even remember her name. Let me look it up for a second. I'm getting old. I forgot that. Clara Bow. That's it. Clara Bow was the it girl. That the Yeah, that's one I would have found her more fascinating. She ended up marrying the lieutenant governor of Nevada. I thought she had a very interesting life. I want to be alone. I want to be alone. Garbo just talked too slowly for me, and it's I want to be alone. James Stewart's my favorite actor too. Well, now, wait a minute now. Let's all calm down here. Remain calm, everybody. We got the situation in hand. Now, Uncle Billy, where did you put that money? I'm not going to jail, Uncle Billy. You are. Nanotchka, yeah. Cary Grant. Judy. Sit down with the king in the free world. I don't know who that would be. It's certainly not the man in the can. He'll find out that ain't nothing free anymore. So, where'd you put that money, Uncle Billy? Where did you leave that money? You old fool. My wife is the most beautiful woman. Then Kim Basinger. That's cool. Yeah, thank you, Kathleen. Yeah, Cary Grant was very watchable. I liked Burt Lancaster. I thought was great. And Elmer Gantry. Um, there were a lot of good ones. Edward G. Robinson was a very strong actor. Tough guys liked him. Do you wish you sit down with your grandpa to see what work he did? Yeah, I think my grandfather was interesting. My father's father. He graduated in 1917 when the United States declared war. When they got together, war was declared on April 6th, I believe, of 1917 or something like that. I think it was a Saturday, and when their class at Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore met on the Monday, they all, as a class, got up and marched down to the 5th Regiment Armory downtown. And they all enlisted in the service, which I thought was pretty cool. And my father ended up in the United States Navy as a radio operator on a battleship, which I thought was pretty cool. And when he got out, he was an engineer, and he went to work for an organization called Commercial Credit Company, and it was a lender. And because he was an engineer, he knew how to do compound interest. He had a slide rule, and he could do compound interest on the slide rule. And they thought they hired him. They thought that was the most useful thing that they'd ever seen down there. So Annette, Catherine Hepburn. I liked. I don't know, like the vivacious ones, the Natalie Woods, the girls that were really out there, the bigger than life, and the Raquel Welches. And see, everybody just getting here now. What's going on? What did I miss? Hey, Gail, how you doing? Cary Graham is by the way. Yeah, I think a lot of these people Hollywood was a little wilder. It wasn't just Rock Hudson, right? So, right, just ask Elizabeth Taylor. Man, I wonder how we're going to do with another month of social distancing. Jeez. I'm going crazy just thinking about that. I'll even pick it up. Canned ham tastes terrible. Isn't there a good canned ham? I don't know. I don't know. There were so many swab stars. I always liked who was the one that can't. He was a good-looking guy. Can't think of his name. Van Johnson. I always liked Van Johnson too. He was like a everyday guy, and I absolutely adored Jack Lemmon. I all my favorite male stars were like they could play everyday characters. You know, nothing. They weren't Laurence Olivier's, the stage actors come to Hollywood. They were just regular guys. That's what I really liked. Those ones that could be regular guys. Uh, William Holden. Yeah, Dak. That's what I thought. I thought a Dak canned ham. I thought Dak canned ham was pretty good, isn't it? A Dak canned ham. Chicken a la king is amazing, but oh my God, the calories. Robert Redford has always been 100 degrees too. Yeah, Robert Redford, Steve McQueen. I've always enjoyed the acting of Clint Eastwood. I thought he could play a lot of different roles, a lot of different characterizations. He didn't get typecast into. It was good, Robert Redford. Do 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 boom 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 do 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 do. I don't know who it is. I don't know who they're talking about. Take months before this is the first protect. Well, Cobra John, I'm looking at the grain markets for my next opportunities. It's time to probably swing open my commodity account. I haven't opened it. I haven't activated it in a long time. That's going to be my next venue of action. I believe is going to be the grain markets. I'm going to keep an eye on the grain situation in the world. Ruth Gordon should have won an Oscar. Shirley Booth only made 3 movies. She won an Oscar for one. She was tremendous in the other one. I mean, she was a very underrated actress that ended up being Hazel on TV. But people should check out some of her other work. People want to go over spam. Yeah, spam is the #1 market for spam is Hawaii. It's a holdover from the United States Navy. You know, the huge amounts of food and stuff that pass through there. I looked on those. That's what I eat, Miriam. I'm a ramen queen, baby. The ramen queen. Yeah, we're gonna have some baby names. Charmin, right? Purell. Dawn. uh, spam, and just imagine potential in the oil market. Yeah, that I can't. That I have a little harder time seeing Cobra John, but you may very well be right. But I just think we could be facing a potential shortage of food coming up worldwide. I'm particularly worried. There's going to be a lot of stress on the growing season in the Great Plains this year. And I pray to God that this coronavirus spares the farm belt and the people that operate there and the people that work in the fields, picking our produce and things that they don't become swamped with all of this. It would be terrible. Yeah, Lysol and Corona. Uh, there's a Corona form because it has what the virus appears to have what looks like a crown on it, and they put it in a classification of Corona crown type viruses. That's how it got the name. Zane August, Cora Lynn, like them too. Use the ramen, not to pad your own spice with vegetables. The loan officer approved my plan to take out a mortgage for the horse farm. He called his stable investment. Wheat fields, how you doing? Bubba Bug said the wheat fields are looking good. I'm going to keep an eye on that. It's soybeans I'm particularly looking at. That's my market of interest there. I'm thinking soybeans, and I want to keep an eye on the soybeans, wheat, and corn. I want to keep an eye on those the big traditional three markets. I'm waiting. The signal will be uh, an explosive rally, be like a explosive 1 to 3 day, maybe 4 day rally, and then I'll wait for a pullback and then get aboard that. So millions of acres of wheat around me. Yep. Winter wheat is now out of dormancy. I avoid soy. Allergic to gluten. Sorry to hear that. Oh man, this is so nice. The Streamlabs is behaving so well these days. So well. I'm so happy about the way that it is acting. Do 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 do. Ooh, do do do. Ooh. I don't think so, crazy head. I don't know, Johnny Wad. They say it's no big deal, but who knows? I'm living the herbal life tonight. There we go. Anyway, guys, it's been about over 2.5 hours. I want to thank you for being on tonight. I've got some things I've got to do now in preparation for tomorrow. I want to thank you so much for being on tonight. Lots of more good content coming. If you haven't done so, please give a thumbs up. Please take a second to hit the thumbs up button on here. It is most appreciated. And thanks a lot for a lot of laughs, a good upbeat chat tonight. We need to stay positive in times like these. Hey, Nocturnal. We need to stay happy. We need to stay optimistic. We need to stay plugged in for each other. And there's real stuff going on in the world here. Get your head out of the mixer. Go for a walk if you can. Step outside on your back porch. Look at some flowers. Look at some trees coming into bloom and leafing with green leaves. Watch a comedy. Okay, feel good about life. Sit back and think about how simple life can be or how complicated you want to make it. Simplify your life as much as possible, and you will be a happy person. Thanks for watching, everybody, and see you tomorrow.